Proverbs 17 in various versions, verse by verse. Better is a dry morsel and quietness therewith than an house full of sacrifices with strife. Better a bit of dry bread in peace than a house full of feasting and violent behavior. You may have to eat a bit of dry bread, but to eat it with a quiet mind is better than to eat plenty in a house full of quarrels. Dry crumbs in peace are better than a full meal with strife. Better is a dry crust of bread where there is quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. A servant who does wisely will have rule over a son causing shame, and will have his part in the heritage among brothers. A wise servant will rule over a son that makes his father ashamed. He will receive part of the valuable things of his master when his master dies. A prudent servant will rule in place of a disgraceful son, and will share in the inheritance among brothers. A servant who acts wisely will rule over an heir who behaves shamefully, and will share the inheritance along with the relatives. A servant who deals wisely will rule over a son who causes shame, and shall have a part in the inheritance among the brothers. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tries the hearts. The heating pot is for silver, and the oven fire for gold, but the Lord is the tester of hearts. Fire will show how good gold and silver are. In the same way, the Lord shows what a man is like. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord assays hearts. The crucible is for refining silver, and the furnace is for gold. Likewise, the Lord tests hearts. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but Yud-He-Vav-He tests the hearts. A wicked doer gives heed to false lips, and a liar gives ear to a naughty tongue. A wrongdoer gives attention to evil lips, and a man of deceit gives ear to a damaging tongue. Bad people listen to bad ideas. Those who speak false words listen to false words. Whoever practices evil pays attention to wicked speech, and the liar listens to malicious talk. One who acts wickedly pays attention to evil counsel. A liar listens to a malicious tongue. An evildoer heeds wicked lips. A liar gives ear to a mischievous tongue. Whoso mocks the poor reproaches his maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Whoever makes sport of the poor puts shame on his maker, and he who is glad because of trouble will not go free from punishment. You should not say things that are not kind about poor people. If you do, you are not speaking well about God. You should not be happy when trouble has happened to someone. If you are, God will punish you. Whoever mocks the poor shows contempt for their maker, and whoever is happy about disaster will not go unpunished. The one who mocks the poor insults his Creator. Whoever rejoices over disaster will not go unpunished. Whoever mocks the poor reproaches his Maker. He who is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their fathers. Grandparents enjoy their grandchildren. In the same way, children think that their parents are great. Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and the pride of children is their parents. Grandchildren are like a crown to the elderly, and the glory of children is their parents. Children's children are the crown of old men, the glory of children are their parents. Excellent speech becomes not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. Fair words are not to be looked for from a foolish man, much less are false lips in a ruler. It does not seem right when a fool speaks very good words. It seems even worse when a ruler does not speak true things. Appropriate speech is inconsistent with the fool. How much more are deceitful statements with a prince? Excessive speech is not becoming for a fool. How much less are lies for a ruler? Arrogant speech isn't fitting for a fool, much less do lying lips fit a prince. Excellent speech isn't fitting for a fool, much less do lying lips fit a prince. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that has it. Whithersoever it turns, it prospers. Some people think that a bribe does impossible things. They believe that it can do anything. A bribe works wonders in the eyes of its giver. Wherever he turns, he prospers. A bribe works like a charm for the one who offers it. In whatever he does, he succeeds. A bribe is a precious stone in the eyes of him who gives it. Wherever he turns, he prospers. A bribe is a precious stone in the eyes of him who gives it. Wherever he turns, he prospers. An offering of money is like a stone of great price in the eyes of him who has it. Wherever he goes, he does well. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that has it. Whithersoever it turns, it prospers. He that covers a transgression seeks love, but he that repeats a matter separates very friends. He who keeps a sin covered is looking for love, but he who keeps on talking of a thing makes division between friends. Anyone who overlooks an offense promotes love, but someone who gossips separates close friends. The one who forgives an offense seeks love, but whoever repeats a matter separates close friends. He who covers an offense promotes love, but he who repeats a matter separates best friends. A reproof enters more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. A word of protest goes deeper into one who has sense than 100 blows into a foolish man. You can tell a wise man that he has done something wrong. He will learn from that. But a fool learns nothing. He will not learn even if someone hits him 100 times. A rebuke makes a greater impression on a discerning person than 100 blows on a fool. A rebuke enters deeper into one who has understanding than 100 lashes into a fool. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. An uncontrolled man is only looking for trouble, so a cruel servant will be sent against him. A man that always causes trouble wants bad things to happen, so a cruel man will tell him bad news. A rebellious person seeks evil. A cruel emissary will be sent to oppose him. An evil person seeks only rebellion, and so a cruel messenger will be sent against him. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. It is better to come face to face with a bear whose young ones have been taken away than with a foolish man acting foolishly. It's better to meet a mother bear who has lost her cubs than a fool in his stupidity. It is better for a person to meet a mother bear being robbed of her cubs than to encounter a fool in his folly. Let a bear robbed of her cubs meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. Whoso rewards evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. If anyone gives back evil for good, evil will never go away from his house. Do not give bad things for what is good. If you do, bad things will always happen to you and to your family. The person who repays good with evil will never see evil leave his home. As for one who repays evil for good, evil will not leave his house. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is as when one lets out water. Therefore, leave off contention before it be meddled with. To start a quarrel is like the first small hole in a dam. Stop it before it is too late. Starting a quarrel is like spilling water, so drop the dispute before it escalates. Starting a quarrel is like letting out water. Stop it before strife breaks out. The beginning of strife is like breaching a dam. Therefore, stop contention before quarreling breaks out. He that justifies the wicked, and he that condemns the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord. He who gives a decision for the evildoer, and he who gives a decision against the upright, are equally disgusting to the Lord. People may let a man be free when he has done wrong things, or they may punish a man who has not done anything wrong. The Lord hates it when people do those things. Exonerating the wicked and condemning the righteous are both detestable to the Lord. The one who acquits the guilty and the one who condemns the innocent, both of them are an abomination to the Lord. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both of them alike are an abomination to Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Wherefore is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he has no heart to it? How will money in the hand of the foolish get him wisdom, seeing that he has no sense? Money does not do anything good for a fool, because he does not want to be wise. What is this? A fool has enough money to buy wisdom, but is senseless. Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no intention of acquiring wisdom? Why is there money in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom, seeing he has no understanding? Why is there money in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom, since he has no understanding. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A friend is loving at all times and becomes a brother in times of trouble. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is always there to help at the bad times. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is there for times of trouble. A friend loves at all times, and a relative is born to help in adversity. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man void of understanding strikes hands and becomes surety in the presence of his friend. A man without sense gives his hand in an agreement and makes himself responsible before his neighbor. Only a fool promises to pay the debts of another man. A man who lacks sense cosigns a loan, becoming a guarantor for his neighbor. The one who lacks wisdom strikes hands in pledge and puts up financial security for his neighbor. A man void of understanding strikes hands and becomes collateral in the presence of his neighbor. He loves transgression that loves strife, and he that exalts his gate seeks destruction. The lover of fighting is a lover of sin. He who makes high his doorway is looking for destruction. A man who loves a quarrel really loves sin, and a man may think of himself as great because of what he does, or he may build a better house than he has money for, but he is really causing trouble for himself in the end. The person who loves transgression loves strife. The person who builds a high gate invites destruction. The one who loves a quarrel loves transgression. Whoever builds his gate high seeks destruction. He who loves disobedience loves strife. One who builds a high gate seeks destruction. He that has a froward heart finds no good, and he that has a perverse tongue falls into mischief. Nothing good comes to him whose heart is fixed on evil purposes, and he who has an evil tongue will come to trouble. A man who thinks wrong things cannot do well. The man who speaks false words gets into trouble. The person whose mind is perverse does not find good, and anyone with perverted speech falls into trouble. The one who has a perverse heart does not find good, and the one who is deceitful in speech falls into trouble. One who has a perverse heart doesn't find prosperity, and one who has a deceitful tongue falls into trouble. He that begets a fool does it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. He who has an unwise son gets sorrow for himself, and the father of a foolish son has no joy. To have a foolish son makes parents sad. The father of a fool is never happy. The man who fathers a fool does so to his sorrow. The father of a fool has no joy. Whoever brings a fool into the world does so to his grief, and the father of a fool has no joy. He who becomes the father of a fool grieves. The father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart does good, like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A glad heart makes a healthy body, but a crushed spirit makes the bones dry. A happy mind is like good medicine, but when you are sad and lonely, you will become ill. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit drains one's strength. A cheerful heart brings good healing, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. A cheerful heart makes good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man takes a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. A sinner takes an offering out of his robe to get a decision for himself in a cause. Bad judges may take money secretly, then they are not fair to anybody. The wicked man takes a bribe in secret in order to pervert the course of justice. A wicked person receives a bribe secretly to pervert the ways of justice. A wicked man receives a bribe in secret to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom is before him that has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. Wisdom is before the face of him who has sense, but the eyes of the foolish are on the ends of the earth. A wise man judges things with wisdom, but a fool looks everywhere. A person with understanding has wisdom as his objective, but a fool looks only to earthly goals. Wisdom is directly in front of the discerning person, but the eyes of a fool run to the ends of the earth. Wisdom is before the face of one who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool wander everywhere. Wisdom is before the face of one who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool wander to the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bare him. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitter pain to her who gave him birth. To have a foolish son makes his father sad, and it makes his mother very sad. A foolish son brings grief to his father, and bitterness to his mother. A foolish child is a grief to his father, and bitterness to the mother who bore him. A foolish son brings grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. Also, to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. To give punishment to the upright is not good, or to give blows to the noble for their righteousness. It is not good to punish a man who has done nothing wrong, and it is not good to hit officers because they have been honest. Furthermore, it isn't good to fine the righteous or to beat an official because of his uprightness. It is terrible to punish a righteous person, and to flog honorable men is wrong. Also, to punish the righteous is not good, nor to flog officials for their integrity. He that has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. He who has knowledge says little, and he who has a calm spirit is a man of good sense. A wise man is careful with the words that he uses. A man who is wise always keeps quiet. Whoever controls what he says is knowledgeable. Anyone who has a calm spirit is a man of understanding. The truly wise person restrains his words, and the one who stays calm is discerning. He who spares his words has knowledge. He who is even-tempered is a man of understanding. Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is counted wise, and he that shuts his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Even the foolish man, when he keeps quiet, is taken to be wise. When his lips are shut, he is credited with good sense. Even a fool seems to be wise if he keeps quiet. He should keep his mouth shut, so people will think that he is wise. Even a fool is thought to be wise when he remains silent. He is thought to be prudent when he keeps his mouth shut. Even a fool who remains silent is considered wise, and the one who holds his tongue is deemed discerning. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is counted wise. When he shuts his lips, he is thought to be discerning.